It's finally here! Chainsaw Man has crashed Crunchyroll servers, is at the top of trending everywhere, and has already converted many people into saying, I am not one of them. But I must admit, this episode had quite a bit to digest, so I'm here to discuss and talk about everything you need to know about Chainsaw Man Episode 1. Strap in, because things are about to get crazy. This is Chainsaw Man Episode 1, Dog and Chainsaw. As well, toss me a like and subscribe. Do it for Pochita. The first couple of scenes in this episode mainly follow our main character himself, Denji. And Denji is a rather interesting person, in a situation which is deleterious to his health and well-being, which he then tells us that he's 38 million yen in debt, doing everything he can to pay it back, right down to selling body parts no less. Though, their main source of income is killing devils, which nets him about 300,000 yen. In other words, big money. Devils themselves are essentially monsters in the world of Chainsaw Man, just like any other, but each have special abilities and utilities that make each of them stand out. For example, the first devil we see Denji kill is the Tomato Devil. Speaking of devils though, we also have to bring up the super cute and fluffy and sharp as well, Pochita. This is Denji's devil friend. He shares his slice of bread with him, his food, and most importantly, his dreams. As for the people Denji's in debt to, however, these are pretty bad people. They are making Denji pay back a debt that's not even his own, but his father's, because he died after hanging himself. This is also where he meets Pochita, who is wounded and bleeding, so he makes a contract with him. Pochita can drink his blood, as human blood heals devils, and vow to protect each other, or he dies. Pochita chooses to live, forming a contract with Denji. This is how Denji ultimately becomes a devil hunter, as moments later, he asks for a job after killing a demon in front of the person he owes debt to. So Denji and Pochita's days are filled with dreaming about a better life, living in a shed, eating slices of bread, trying to make ends meet, doing everything imaginable, even though Denji knows he'll probably be doing this forever. So, his outlet is to dream. Dream of eating bread with jam on it, asking a girl out and holding her hand. The things in which seem so mundane to us are wondrous and whimsy to him. But Denji, even then, may not make it to the end of his life, at least in the way he thinks. Turns out, much like his mother, who died coughing up blood from a heart disease, Denji as well is also coughing up blood. So, trying his best to go back to sleep, even then, he does not get his rest or is able to dream, because the people he owes his debt to wakes him up to go kill a devil. And whether or not Denji knows it, this is the moment everything changes for him. Taken to a building, Denji and Pochita are essentially betrayed, stabbed through the chest, and slain by the very people who collect his debt. In a shocking twist, it turns out that they have taken a page out of Denji's book, making a contract with the devil themselves. The Zombie Devil. This devil is interesting because it has the ability to turn humans into, well, zombies. The undead. Then, Denji and Pochita are cut into pieces and stuffed in the trash. There, Denji remembers something. The time he told Pochita that he'd soon rather die than to ever let Pochita die, and that if he's the kind of devil that can take over a human's body, he wants Pochita to do just that. Pochita obliges, piecing back together the limbs and body parts of Denji, and at the heart of it all is Pochita himself. They have fused together, now becoming part human and part devil. Left with a ripcord in his chest, Denji confronts the zombie devil once more and learns that, unlike Pochita, the zombie devil tricked them as they wanted more power in their lives, and the devil knew that they could take advantage of them. This confuses Denji because to him, it makes no sense. Why would they want a better life? Denji has literally nothing, and these people would rather throw away their own lives for a dream. This is when Denji realizes that he should have just been happy with Pochita and enjoyed what he had, but ultimately comes to the conclusion that, well, everyone dreams, because everyone wants something more, something better. So he comes to the decision, if anyone gets in his way, they die. Denji then hits the ripcord, and saws come from within his body like Wolverine, but something more gruesome. Denji turns into Chainsaw Man and destroys the zombie devil and its underlings as it slices through one after the other until not one is left alive. This leads to the next day where Makima from Public Safety finds Denji. Her job was to eliminate the zombie devil, but instead she comes here to find this man. Denji has already done her job. Holding Denji within her arms, he simply melts away, like quite literally, and she gives him two options. She can kill him like a devil, or she can keep him as a human. And if she keeps him, she'll make sure he's well fed. Looking to the pile of bodies, realizing the situation he has, he can be as dead as the people that he has just killed, or he can be a pet for Makima pretty much, and be fed. And what's on the menu? Well, Makima says bread with butter and jam, salad, coffee, maybe some dessert. As this is happening, we see Denji, who seemingly is at a loss for words. And as Makima looks down at Denji, he simply says, "That sounds awesome." I'm not gonna lie to you all, Chainsaw Man Episode 1 was really great in so many ways. From the themes of the story and characters to the exhilarating action and animation on display. MAPPA has truly outdone themselves creating something, at least in terms of the first episode, that rivals their work with Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan final season, and may even be slightly better in some ways. It's crazy for me, being a fan of MAPPA since the Inuyashiki days, to see how far the studio has come, and Chainsaw Man just may be their magnum opus. As for the episode itself though, I think it's important we go over it bit by bit. I adored the relationship between Denji and Pochita and nearly cried when Pochita revived Denji and fused with him. Rather masterfully, they built up to it by showing that Denji and Pochita lived simple, but were inseparable. They did everything together, and Pochita not only saved Denji's life countless times, giving him a way to earn money and save his life, but Denji as well saved Pochita's. And in the end, all he ever wanted was to hear his musings about his dreams. Until the very end, Pochita was loyal to Denji, never strayed, never taking advantage of him like all of the other devils have. Denji, as well, is a very sympathetic person. He has literally nothing in his life that's good for him besides Pochita. From a debt his dead father couldn't pay to living a life where he had to sell his organs to make ends meet. I don't envy Denji in the slightest. In fact, I want to see him prosper and live out his dreams one by one, if at all possible. As well, we have his Chainsaw Man form, which is absolutely nothing short but insane. The animation and the art when he rips through the zombie devil, it's exquisite. The incredible animation from the CGI blends so well into the 2D animation that and this may be a first, but enhances what we see on the screen. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Generally speaking, I'm not really actually sure what to think about Makima yet. Of course, we haven't seen much of her, but based off my own first impressions, I suppose, one, I can see why definitely people adore this woman. She's absolutely gorgeous, and also as well, she saves Denji in a way that makes me think, well, could there be a romance in this series between the two? That would be really interesting to see, but I don't think I'm really getting those vibes really hard quite yet. Actually, what I'm getting is kind of a little bit of a sussy baka kind of vibe, if you know what I mean by that. Makima basically is like, hey, Denji, if you live for me, I'll do anything you want. I don't know, something about that just makes me think she's manipulating a situation. I'm not quite sure yet what to think about her yet though, so, don't crucify me if Makima's, some really great good Samaritan kind of person, but based on what I've seen so far in this show, I'm kind of in a field where I don't think I trust anyone but Denji and Pochita at this point, because really, nobody else in this show so far has showed that there are good people or trustworthy on any occasion. So what do you guys think about Makima? Do you think she's a trustworthy kind of person? Would you agree with her? Would you actually live to be with her and be her, well, the way she kind of put it is like a pet? Would you do that? What do you think about Chainsaw Man Episode 1? Can we trust Makima? Did the episode live up to the hype? Is Pochita best fluff? As well, become a patron to get early access to my One Piece videos and future exclusive Chainsaw Man content. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.